Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning market report here on Piper Academy Network. Sell off. That's all we've got. Tariff wars have begun. We are red on the daily across the board. Some altcoins seeing as much as 30+% pullbacks. We are seeing right now that the current stock market open right now. This is the U.S. market. Dow Jones opening 1.1% to the downside. The Nasdaq or the S&P is down 1.5% ish. The Nasdaq down almost 2%. Russell 2K down 8.86%. So seeing a lot of sell-off here in the markets already this morning. I am watching some key levels here on this Bitcoin chart, guys. Our little green support band that we've been talking about for a long time. That is our current support level. We did wick down just slightly below it there, but we're going to be taking a look at what I think is a target. I think $89,000 is a good spot to take a look at. Plus, I do have a little bit of hopium for you. CVO dropping some data for us, and it looks like possibly last night, we had a little bit of an altcoin season beginning. This is phase one of the next altcoin season. We'll take a look at that, why he thinks that, and a lot more, to include $2.2 billion in liquidations in the past 24 hours. Let's get it, guys. You know what time it is. Class is in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report Show. I appreciate everyone that is joining us here right now. If you are in the chat, go ahead and smash that like button and let us know that you are enjoying the content. Shout out to Ihachi. We got Tobias in the house. Eric Wallen is in here looking for the composite man. Indie Rock Crypto. Alexandra G, the Mod Queen. 2Dub in the house. Andrea's in here with us. We got Buck. Let's see. Donato Cabrera. We've got Robert Mulligan. Pleasure to have you here, sir. Let's see. Who else? The OC guy, of course. I see him. I see username. Just quick scan through here. Anybody I've missed, I apologize, but I think I got most of the people. Welcome to the Morning Market Report. Roguelite, what's up, man? How you doing? Let's go ahead and bring up my co-host today, though. I can't do the show without him. Oh, I can, but it's not fun. What's up, OC? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, in this weekend, he's been a little bit of a roller coaster. Have you seen that, man, that drop on Bitcoin? That kind of like sets me a little bit like, I don't know, like
bro,
when your hair chicken pumps, right?
Bro, Bitcoin held up way better than the altcoins. Way better. I looked at Bitcoin. I was down. It's down like 6.7%. What's ADA down? 33%. What the hell? Yeah, so Bitcoin held pretty well, but it's still painful to watch. It's still painful to watch, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Alex O yesterday. Alex O Crypto. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And the things with tariff also all started hitting up. What was it on Friday? No, sorry, Friday 1st or Saturday 1st. The tariff went into place with Mexico, right? So I mean, I'm just dying to see what my president is going to say. I'm dying to see how the global population is going to be reacting, or countries reacting to tariffs. Man, this movie is getting better by the minute. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Yesterday was a buy the dip day. That's all over X. But Alex O posted on there yesterday. He said, how much is your altcoin portfolio down today? I'll go first. And he said $130,000 is how much his alt portfolio was down yesterday. And he's mostly in Bitcoin. So you keep that in mind. But then, Tom Crown came in and he said his portfolio was down one U.S. house. CVO Crypto came in with some crazy emoji looking face. But at the end of the day, I said I don't want to reply because I told everybody I took 99% of all of my profits out and started my DCA reset like 3 weeks ago. So I had like $3,000 worth of Bitcoin at that point when we started dumping. So, and I bought more yesterday at $92,000 and $93,000. So, hey, there you go. As of right now, my portfolio made 4.5% APY as I'm starting my DCA reset. So, yeah, getting out at the end of December or at the first week of January, pretty smart move on my part. I'll take it. So, but let's go ahead and get into the news. We got a lot to break down. I am seeing a little bit of an upside movement here on Bitcoin. Let's jump in on that real fast first, and then we'll come back and we'll knock out the news. Let's go jump over to the Bitcoin chart. Looking at the Bitcoin chart right now, guys, we are seeing a little bit of a upside move here coming in off of this line, guys. This green line I've had on here is based off of the fixed range volume profiles, and we've had this on here for our community for a while. This used to be called the oh shit, it didn't hold, I think is what this one was called. Then we just put it back in the support zone. We do have one more that's set below us here. Let's go turn that one on. Yeah, that's exactly where we bounced. Look at that. That is the well crap, it didn't hold. So this one was this needs to hold, and then this was the well crap, it didn't hold. So you can see this is still playing pretty dang well, and that wick came right down to that fixed range volume profile value area low. So this would be the point that I would watch for a bounce. However, what I'm seeing is this downward wedge that we have here, this fallen wedge that is coming through here, that we did get a break above it and then we fell back into it. This could also be what is called the dreaded OC retest right now here, guys. So keep an eye on that level. It's also going to be our weekly pivot level. So looking at the pivot tables, that is our weekly pivot that we are now breaking off of also, and that is coming in right about 96,147. The area that I'm watching on here is going to be the support level 2. And keep in mind, we do have a reversal here, but this reversal can play out for that rejection. And then that level that I'm watching, $89,700, guys, it's going to be support level 2 on the weekly pivot tables here, looking at the Dynamic Pro pivots. So that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and let's jump over into the news and let's get this all knocked out, guys. It's time for some news. Let's get the news. All right, let's go to the dashboard first here, and let's talk about this. What are we looking at right now? Total market cap's coming in at $3.11 trillion as we speak. The trend for the average market cap, guys, is 3.4 trillion. So right now, Bitcoin is considered, or crypto in general, is considered negative 8.9% undervalued. So it is under its median evaluation line. That's a good sign to see, actually. Looking at Bitcoin right now, it's at a 57% risk level. This means that it's at a DCA ×1 in our Piper plan for DCA. And so if you guys don't know, we do a DCA plan based on the risk bubbles. The lower, the cooler the risk level bubbles. So 40%, 30%, so on and so forth, you times the DCA amount and let it play. So right now we're at a DCA 1 on Bitcoin this week. Let's go over and look at the fear and greed. Nope, let's go back. I want to talk about the stables. Looking at stable coins right now, Bitcoin dominance with stables is 59.75%. Without stable coins included, Bitcoin is at 64% dominance. Now let's go look at the risk fear and greed index and see where that is at. Let's go. Fear and greed right now is sitting at 44, guys. We're classified as fear right now. So that is the level that we're sitting at for fear and greed. Let's go over to X and let's talk about this because we do have some posts over here that I want to talk about. This is from CoinBeats Crypto School. This is the amount of Bitcoin longs versus shorts on centralized exchanges, guys. Longs right now, 64.5% of all trades are longs versus 35.5% shorts. I still think that we have some more downside to wash some of that out before we do move back to the upside. That's typically how it goes. When everybody has hope, they get wrecked, and when everyone loses hope, then they get wrecked. And not enough people have lost hope yet. So the trade wars are on. This is what is causing all this, guys. If you do not know, a little thread here from the Kabisi letter. Let's talk about this. New tariffs from President Trump are set to impact $1.3 trillion worth of U.S. trade. That is what is scaring the investors. That's what's causing sell-off right now. The U.S. stock market has lost over $1.5 trillion of market cap, with 43% of all U.S. imports soon to be subject to tariffs. What does this mean? Let us explain. President Trump announced new tariff of 25% on Canada, 25% on Mexico, and 10% on China. These build on already existing tariffs on China, some of which are from the last Trump trade war. And on February 4th, these tariffs will go live. So February 4th, 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when these tariffs actually kick in. And I've actually already seen some tariff taxation in price increases take place. Steaks that I normally get from Sam's Club, the USDA Prime fillets, they went up like $6 a pack already from last week, and I know what they were last week because I can look and see. Hey, this is my digital receipt, right? And so I was like, what is going on here? Looks like some of the companies are front running the price increases. So watch that inflation, guys. I do think we're going to see inflation definitely spike up off of this, which is going to put a very hard time on Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve. So at the high level, these tariffs function like a tax on goods coming into the U.S. Simply put, $100 of goods coming into the U.S. from Canada and Mexico will now cost $125. The U.S. imported $910 billion from Canada and Mexico in 2023. Many of these goods will cost 25% more, guys. So auto industry, oil changes, you're definitely going to see it there from the filters and all that stuff. A lot of that stuff, industrial things, commercial utility items, those things all come really from Mexico. A lot of it does. So, I will talk about that too, Dub. I will talk about the long term. It's not an immediate fix. 2Dub asked, how will these tariffs help the U.S. economy? There you go, right there. I popped it up. It's not going to be an immediate thing. This is a long term game. Trump is playing the long game right now. We'll talk about that in a minute when we come back to 2Cam. $97 billion of crude oil comes from Canada each year. Of course, that's not a 25% tariff. That's only a 10% tariff. He did that on the energy goods, so he's not trying to raise our prices of our oil and stuff like that too much here. He wants to keep that cheap. 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico raises the cost for U.S. automakers. The tariff is set to add up to $3,000 to the price of some 16 million cars sold in the U.S. each year. Food costs are set to rise as well, with Mexico supplying over 60% of fresh produce to the U.S. So overall, the U.S. relies on trade significantly less than its allies do. So yeah, that's just a short summary there of what that's looking like for the tariffs and why the markets are doing what they're doing. Let's jump over here and look at the past 24 hours, guys. 750,415 traders were liquidated in the past 24 hours. Total liquidations coming in at $2.3 billion with the B. That's a B. The largest single liquidation order happened on HTX. It was Bitcoin. Someone on a single trade lost $38.7 million on Bitcoin, guys. Whew. Can't even think about that. My wife would leave me. My dog would leave me. OC would leave me. Looking at the daily here, guys, we're a lot of red. We are seeing some green popping in on the hourly, and we showed you that on the chart that we are getting that little pump up to some resistance levels. Let's go down and take a look at what the current prices are coming in at. Bitcoin currently sitting at $96,000, down 3.1% on the daily, up 0.9% on the hourly here. Not too shabby there. Ethereum right now down 15.3%. This is what I was talking about earlier, guys, that Bitcoin has held up way better than all of the other altcoins did. Like 3.1%. I mean, it's closer to being what Tether is as a stable coin than what Ethereum or XRP or Solana was in reality. So Solana down 7.1%, XRP down 16.2%. Dogecoin down 13.9%. Cardano, this was a lot higher. This has made a little rally back up. It's only down 17.4% now. Let's see. Chainlink's down 13%, Avalanche 16%. Any big movers in here? It looks like Leo Token held pretty well. Of course, that's a decentralized exchange, so they're making all of that money. Yep, that's it. Country song. I lost my dog, I lost my car, lost my friend. Yeah, Leo Token is a decentralized exchange native token, so it made its money off of people swapping in and out of it as they were working on the decentralized exchange. So it did pretty well there. Same with Hyperliquid, moving up 4 spots into the top 20. Shout out to them. And then Bitcoin token. You guys can see these native tokens did quite well for the decentralized exchange move. Someone said take a look at Caspa yesterday. I think it was Eric Wallen. Where is Caspa? Caspa, where are you? Caspa it was way down, man. It was like 7.9 cents last night. Man, did it drop that far? It did. It's all the way down to number 44, guys. Yeah, it is down 20.8% right now. It is sitting at 9.6 cents. So it's gone up a couple of cents, but taking a massive hit there on that pullback yesterday. Let's go take a look at the stock market, see how this is looking right now. Dow Jones is still down 1.23%, S&P down 1.54%, NASDAQ down 1.9%, and the Russell 2K down 2.44%. That VIX is in the green, and you guys know what that means. That means that there's a lot of volatility. That is the volatility index. And so when it's green like this, it means there's a lot of buying and selling. The volatility is up. So typically happens when we see a lot of red here. Let's look at the bonds and see how the 10 years doing. 10-year treasury yield sitting at 4.5%. This is actually a good sign, but it may not matter at all. We may just see this thing continue to dump down. Looking at gold, it's at $2,858 right now. A lot of money sliding over into gold, up 0.81%. Silver's at $32.43. Copper, platinum, and palladium all down to the downside. Platinum falling pretty hard, 3.7% in the last 24 hours. Palladium down 2%. So let's go and look at oil. Let's check out oil. Oil's on its way up. Brent, natural gas, and all of that looking pretty strong. And that's probably because the U.S. tariffs, U.S. tariffs spark supply disruption fears. So let's go and see what's going on with the economic group this week. We did get a little bit of data coming this morning. S&P Global Manufacturing PMI was expected to be 50.1% on consensus and forecast after being coming in at 49.4. Came in a little higher at 51.2%. What does this mean? It is this S&P U.S. Manufacturing PMI compiled by the S&P Global from responses and questionnaires sent to purchasing managers. So this is how much are they purchasing, new orders, output, employment, stuff like that. It's their total cost for all these things and their projections. It's basically a pulse on how strong is the market looking right now. And as of right now, it says the manufacturing PMI increased to 51.2% in January from 49.4% in December of 2024. PMI in the United States averages normally 53.14 points. And now it's in that ballpark. It's pretty close to it, reaching an all-time high of 63.4 back in July of 2021. So starting to see some demand return back into the markets. Let's go over here. I want to talk about this. Let's talk about this. OC, did you buy the dip?
Not really. I did bought a little bit afterwards. In fact, we had a alert right here at 91,865. So, man, but I don't know where I was doing or what I was doing. But I did not bought it. It did hit my alert. I remember seeing it on my cell phone, and I was like, you know what? I need to buy, and then forgot about it. But still, I do have an average entry of somewhere around 98K. So not too far away down. I can still do some DCA, but I did miss the dip.
Well,
even when I had an alert.
We had a couple of questions here. It looks like Wifey and I have a question. So that's from Andrea. Shout out to her for the $20 super chat. You didn't have to do that. I would have came back and got it, but I appreciate you. Much love. Appreciate all of you guys. You guys rock. Let's go see what these questions were. Let me look here. Wifey says, Wifey had a question about how does tariffs work? And then Andrea had a question too. Let me find Andrea's question here. I'm going to tell you guys who didn't buy the dip yesterday in a second. So it didn't work from McKinley. What is Trump doing differently that he thinks this will work? Good to see Piper Fam. I see Wick Wife. Fine, 89. And she asked the question, has been tried before and failed. Yes. So, okay. It's pretty much talking about the tariffs. Okay. So why does he think the tariffs will work? Because he made it really simple with this one post, and I'm going to pull this up here. And he could be absolutely be wrong. I want you guys to understand that just because he said this doesn't mean that I think that he's right. I think he's going to jack up the economy and send us into a recession before anything positive comes out of this. But let's jump over to here. Let me stretch this over and we'll bring up the twin cam here. OC, come on up here, bro. So yeah, this is from Donald J. Trump. And here's his end game, if you guys want to know. He says at the very bottom, make your products in the USA and there are no tariffs. That's really what it comes down to right there. He is trying to get the United States companies to buy US goods, which will then create jobs in the US, then create value to the company. He even says in here that the best that the country has ever looked was back in like the 1980s or 90s, I think he said, where he was talking about when we had U.S. companies producing most of our goods. And he is right. But the bottom line is we had a period back in the day, way back in the day, about 100 years ago, that we had the deregulation going on, a lot of regulation change going on. Oh, look, I'm getting thumbs popping up. That's great. A lot of deregulation going on and tariffs starting up at the same time. Do you know when that was, OC?
4 years ago?
It was about 100 years ago. And it was what happened right before we went into the Great Depression. So don't get it twisted. This is not bullish in my opinion. I do think that it's going to get worse before it gets better. Facts, 2Dub. Because it's going to cause our inflation is going to rise up. I would not want to be Jerome Powell. I've said this so many times, it's pitiful. I would not want to be Jerome Powell. I definitely would not want to be Jerome Powell now because the tariffs are going to raise the prices. Inflation is going to rear its ugly head. And we could be looking at Volcker. If you guys don't know who that is, Federal Reserve back in the 70s, Volcker, return of inflation, where we had a big spike up of inflation. It pulled back. Everyone thought it was good. We were all good. Everything's going to happen. And then, bam, it shoots up again. And we had a resurgence to an even higher level of inflation. And it was ugly. So we could actually be looking at that very same thing. And that's why the markets are selling off. But I want to talk about, World War I and the 80s. Exactly, BC Port Corp. It's why we got FDR. Yep. Guys, a lot of smart stuff being dropped in the chat right now. So just keep an eye there. I can't go over all of the nuances of every angle on this, but I will tell you, it's not going to, this is not a quick fix. I don't know what Trump was thinking with this. 5% maybe, and select items, but blanketing across the board, it's like this was pretty dumb. I do want to talk about who didn't buy the dip yesterday, though. Let's talk about that. Where is it at? There it is, right there. Let's bring this up here, OC, and let's talk about who didn't buy the dip yesterday. Guys, let me know in the chat. Drop a 1 if you bought the dip. Put a 2 if you didn't buy the dip. Yesterday on this market. And let's go talk about this, OC, because MicroStrategies did not buy the dip, just so you know. MicroStrategies ends its weekly Bitcoin buying streak, keeps total holdings at 471,107 Bitcoin. MicroStrategy has ended its latest Bitcoin buying streak after 12 consecutive weeks of acquisitions. The firm acquired around $20 billion worth of Bitcoin over the past few months, but did not sell any last week or buy more. So, OC, what do you think, dude? Does he think that there's more downside coming? Why did he not buy? Super chat coming in from 2Dub, $10 super chat. She said, appreciate the discussion. Much love to the Piper fam. Hey, I think that these are conversations that need to be had that a lot of people just don't seem to want to have. And we've been talking the macro side for a long time on our channel. So this is what we do. We look at this macro, the macro picture environment to compare it to what we see on the technical analysis. And that kind of gives you the bigger picture. And a lot of people, unfortunately, just don't want to look at anything macro because it's boring. And I get that. But if you want your viewers to get the best information possible, you have to include macro. If you're only there because you want your channel to have the maximum number of viewers and you don't care what kind of quality content they get, then you just don't include it and you stick with the flashy stuff that gets everyone's attention. But I want my viewers to get knowledge and information and data to make real world price movements and investment movements, not just operate on hopium. So I appreciate that you appreciate that too, Dub. Shout out to you guys. Much love to the alumni. So yeah, OC, what is Michael Saylor? Does he know that more is coming?
Man, I don't know. Maybe seems like I remember like a couple of years ago when Michael Saylor was buying, it always dropped down. I don't know. Maybe Michael Saylor is waiting for Michael Saylor to buy, so he knows it's coming down. No, but I mean, I think he's got a ton of. There we go, nice. So he's got a ton of knowledge at this point, and his strategy has been playing out. Maybe he's waiting for a final week down to the downside, or maybe some key areas of support to be broken. I mean, who knows? At this point, who knows? But it is a little bit scary to not to see Michael Saylor buy, right? And we were talking about this on the very beginning before the show, and I was like, man, this got me nervous a little bit, right? I mean, it's nothing for sure, it's nothing being said, but at that point, well, only speculations leading the way.
Yep. Talking about speculations, I've shared some videos. There's another for you, Trade Intuition. I love you, man. I got my brain in a lot. I'm in like 9 levels deep of second and third order effects. It's difficult to get what's in here out here with all of that second and third order effect data. So shout out to RS Miller. Shout out to Lunar Beaches Crypto. He said Saylor only buys higher. This is true. Let's go take a look at this quick video, and then we're going to get into the TA. We're about at the top of the hour here. There's another for you. If I had a jar, man, you guys would all be rich and I'd be broke. Let's go check out the this video here. Get out of here. Bring up the camera. Bring up the phone. All right, this is Timothy James, guys. The crypto weatherman. I told you guys I've been following him for a long time. Dude is awesome. So let's check out what he has to say about the tariffs and the market effects. So,
breaking. I've been tagged literally hundreds of times in multiple DMs about the hedge fund's massive bet against the stock market and those impacts to the 401ks. So is the top end currently for the markets? We are within 3 months of the 2021 top and within 1 month of the 2022 bottom. And we've been talking about a meltdown extensively, but this answer is a little bit complex. Just moments ago, Justin Trudeau came out basically matching the U.S. tariffs, did make the threat that they could cut off the energy. He didn't explicitly say that. And basically, I do expect a lot of volatility in the markets. Even though I sold off my positions back on December 20th, and we have scaled into a few individual companies since then, I still have not necessarily called a top because I believe we are going to have what is known as a blow-off top. Blow-off tops occur when there is essentially low volume in the markets. It goes parabolic. The difficulty in these is timing them both for your entry and for your exit. The stock melts down 2 to 3 times faster, and it's typically when you least expect it, you'll likely be sleeping. And remember that these hedge funds don't necessarily think like retail investors or traders. They will wait months. They will play the broken clock to get them into a winning position. So even though I do think that these will be wins for them, I don't think we're necessarily there yet. Again, on Monday morning, I expect extreme volatility. It could be either direction, but I still think we have a blow-off top. I'm not necessarily...
Let's talk about that because the blow-off top, and I do have a post here that I want to show that is from CVO. He did a pretty good breakdown, and we're starting to see this little recovery happening right now. We're going to get into the charts in 1 second, but let's talk about this post from CVO because I think that they might be actually onto something. And I don't think that I do think that we're going to have another rally up, but I think that we could reject on some key levels, come a little bit lower because like I said, longs versus shorts right now are still lopsided and the markets never want the majority to make money. So let's talk about the this right here. There it is. Look at the CVO post. Oh, see, your camera background is on, bro. Looking at this, in my opinion, quite likely the next alt season was initiated last night. This has been a 6-year-long reversal in the making, and the likes we have not seen since 2017. Multi-month rally is likely from these levels. So if you take a look at this picture here that he's talking about, this is a harmonics, butterfly harmonics that he's put here on ETH versus Bitcoin, and it has now made the second wing to its bottom, creating hitting its bounce point. And he's talking about a 6 to 8 month altcoin season that could have begun last night, I should say. So, very interesting that we're hearing from multiple analysts in the space that are saying that, look, I do think that there is another level coming up, that another blow off top before we see a massive recession pullback. And then on top of that, we also see CVO given some technical reasons of why an altcoin season could have begun last night. But shout out to Alex O Crypto just joining us in the house, bringing over the Otta gang. OC, let's get into some tokens. I know Bitcoin has made a little moves. Let's go jump in on Bitcoin first, get your perspective on it. I'll wrap up any levels that I'm seeing that you may not cover, and then let's knock out some altcoins. Guys, let us know in the chat what altcoins you'd like to see, and we will try to get to those. OC, let's kick it over to your Bitcoin chart. Let's go.
Absolutely. Take a look at right now. You can see a red line right here that corresponds to the area that we were looking at. There we go, 91,865.44. Look at that, timing the bottom perfectly, but did not took it. Well, that's too bad. Maybe I'll get another chance. I mean, something important to note, it is these lines or these two lines that we were drawing Friday. Remember that I made a little bit of a mess in here. I was looking at the breakout of this trend line. It did breakout, remember? Breakout did not make the retest, but continuation, right? And then we were also looking at this area to hold. Look at that big body candle breaking through in that big body candle based on the previous candle size, right? So previous candle size was minuscule and then a big body candle through. Well, then that confirms the breakout. So right now we broke this one also. At this point, the only thing left was this channel. And I know it's a little bit different of what Piper has on his drawing, but again, we could be looking at a breakout retest. What I would say that could save us will be closing at these areas right here, somewhere around 97,700, and that is because that is the previous big candle from the dump, right? And also will be closing inside or back inside of the shape, and closing back on the shape, that usually means that we're going to be hitting back again the top. I'm not saying that it's going to be breaking up, but let's just do the same process all over again. So basically what I'm going to be doing here, it is going for a trend line and then trying to time that break of that trend line. I think I'm going to do it like this. And then when we start seeing that breakout, well, then I'm going to be looking for holding this area and then maybe a little bit of a wyckoff pattern and then a breakthrough. And of course, off we go. Something like that, right? When this bottom, it is this bottom, right? We break the trend line like this. And of course, that in this point, we made a double bottom, a wyckoff movement here, and finally breakout retest and further movement to the upside before dumping again. So that's what I'm expecting to happen somewhere around these areas. I don't expect to be such as a beautiful wyckoff distribution at that point, but we'll see how that plays out. Other than that, let me just go very quick to my indicators. I want to see also liquidations, because Friday, and man, did I got this one wrong. We were somewhere around here, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see, Saturday, Friday. No, we were all the way at the top, right? And I was telling you guys, well, what's going to be easier to catch or to create for the market makers? Go grab the shorts or go grab the longs? And I mean, the answer was straightforward, right? I mean, the longs, well, the stop loss of the longs were much closer, so the bullish momentum should have been there, but we lost that momentum by going through the zero line. What happened there? Well, then we went to find back again the bottom. So, well, seems like we don't always hit them all, but at this point, I'm going to be rinsing and repeating, because remember, my trend line strategy did play out by telling me when are we losing that trend. Same thing I'm going to be doing on this area for the bearish trend to be broken. Turn it back to you, Piper.
Yeah, let's jump over to my chart here. Let's take a look at what I'm seeing here on Bitcoin. I'm looking at the daily. I just want to give you guys some quick levels here. We talked about the $89,000. That's going to be your weekly pivot level. I do have Solana, Matic, and Polkadot. I saw those in the chat. So guys, if you guys are running those, faces long on ETH, we'll take a look at ETH also. PEPE, I got PEPE. So PEPE, Solana, Doge, Polkadot, and any of those that you want to jump in on. Solana, Polkadot, Doge, PEPE, ETH, and Matic is what we have right now, OC. But yeah, taking a look here, guys, on daily Bitcoin, I got some key things that I got here. I got two complete levels here fixed range volume profiles that I'm watching. One is coming back from this entire channel back here that we traded in before the breakout. And then this one goes from its last bottoming here on the value area low of this section before it went up. Okay, so let's take a look at these two and what they're telling us. We have a value area low, and we're sitting beneath the point of control right now as we speak. We rejected value area high. Looking at this, if we cannot get back in and retake this range, right? We do have a dynamic reactor on the daily coming in right beneath us here that does give us a bit of hopium, and that's, again, is coming in like $89,000 also, right in line with the weekly pivot level. So if we look at what we're seeing here on these levels, you guys can see there's pretty much no volume here until about $76,000. That's it. There's no volume anywhere in this range if we lose that $89,000 level, which means price can very quickly slice through there. You got a fair value gap running right there. You got another fair value gap running right there. So not a lot of support volume in that area to hold price up. So if we lose that $89,000 level, we're probably looking at like 77K coming in off of that volume node and that volume node, which also, by the way, would be, let me pull it up here and show you just so to remind you guys that it's still there. That would be the CME gap down here that we have not filled yet. That is coming in right at the bottom, $77,000. Now, I do want to point out that looking at the daily here, we do have a CME gap. And this is what I'm watching. You guys can see these pivot tables here from our Market Dynamics Pro from Chart Prime, and this is what I'm watching here. You guys see this level that I have right here. Let me turn the magnet on so I can lock that. There we go. Perfect. Down to here, or wherever that market open was at this morning. I'm not sure. Let me get that again. It's going to be right there. That is the market open on this CME gap. We have a CME gap here. So we could pump up theoretically to close the CME gap and then hit our mother's milk here, as we call it, the MM. This is your median market range of the pivots here, but we call it mother's milk. We could dip into mother's milk here and then pull back down there with that CME gap close there on the daily. So I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop of what I'm watching here. Key levels, $89,000 is going to be a key level for us to hold. If we lose that, we could be looking all the way down at 77K, sadly enough, until we figure out if the market sentiment is risk off or risk on. We've got to go with that type of with those types of numbers, sadly to say. But if we do get a move to the upside, guys, be watching out for 102. That is going to be a close of that CME gap and hitting mother's milk before we get our dip to the downside. That's what I got on Bitcoin. OC, let's kick it over to you. Let's knock out some of these altcoins, bro.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at a couple of things that I have right here on my side. Let's get started with XRP. Man, what a dump. And you were also looking that I was expecting a bounce out of these areas, looking for that flip of the ribbon. What happened? We went through. Remember that I was wait for confirmation, wait through for that flip of the ribbon. Did not happen. I remember I was expecting for this high order block to react as a resistance, but did not play through. In fact, it went all the way down here. Let me just remove my analysis, my previous analysis, and also turn off liquidations in that point. And as you can see that I was having an alert at 289. So 280, what is it? Somewhere around here, 289. For the previous bottom, we went just straight through, man. Broke the floor and then have a week back up at somewhere around 178. Man, that was a big area. I'm expecting to see this little breakout or this little comeback to do not be above this breakout. That will give us 70% chances of ranging. And if I can have something sure enough when I'm ranging, is that I could maybe time tops and bottoms, tops and bottoms, tops and bottoms. And while everybody is just boring on the market, I might be able to make a buck out of it. Another one that I want to take on, it is FARTCOIN. We've been looking at FARTCOIN again. Remember, I was a little bit bullish at this point. We tried to break through. Look at that, but we have an early flip of the ribbon at the top with a reversal. So therefore, we rejected right straight to the next golden line. So FARTCOIN did not do as bad as other coins. And finally, I want to take a look at JASMY. JASMY, I was expecting also to either break out or hold and waiting for the flip of the ribbon. As you can see, this stomp took me by surprise. But remember, I always wait for that flip of the ribbon. And when I got it, that's when I entered for longs, or when I start losing the zero line, that is when I start looking for shorts. At this point, look at how fast it moves. So I did not short the market, any market. And at this point, I'm still not looking for shorts, just if you're wondering. At this point, what I'm going to be looking for, it is all of the coins that I'm interested on, like for example, OM, XRP, JASMY, and Hype, and I'm going to be allocating a little bit of money with those because we had a beautiful retracement. And remember that I buy a retracement, so when it started bumping back up, I start selling at the top. Something interesting on JASMY, it is that we already have that flip of the ribbon, that oversold and that reversal. So for me, this is going to be my first DCA entry on JASMY. I might be able to make a pretty penny out of this. If we come back to the previous highs, we're looking at a possible 600. If I do a 10x allocation, 600 at the best case scenarios percent. I'm still not going to be doing 10x. I'm going to be doing basically zero. There's going to be DCA, strictly DCA for my holding backs. Other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Taking a look at Ethereum here. Don't forget, we still got, what did you just knock out, OC?
JASMY, FARTCOIN, and XRP.
Okay, we got Matic, Solana. Let me look here. Matic, Solana, Polkadot, and Sol. I'll knock out Sol and Ethereum if you want to take out DOT, Doge, DOT. We have DOT, Doge, Pepe, and Matic. So any of those four. All right, let's go take a look at Ethereum here, guys. What I'm seeing here, I do have some fibs pulled from the levels here that we had back in October of 2023. So looking at this on the 4-hour basis to its top, we did get a nice bounce here right at the golden pocket, small wick down below it, fake out, and now we're closing above the 618, looking at a pullback up right now for the 50% level. That's going to be at 2,800. Ethereum currently coming in right now at 2627. So that's what I'm seeing there. Let's go ahead and bring over the oscillators and see how that's looking on our multi-oscillator picture. And then we'll take a look here. Looking at the multi-time frame screener, guys, the only thing that's bullish right now is the 5-minute chart. Despite this pull up, 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hours, still sitting with red up here on the multi-time frame screener. So prophecy, quantum reversal, and dynamics are not flipping bullish yet. I would not put too much in on this. But on the 4-hour, we are starting to see the histogram come back up. That's why I am thinking that we do come back to the $2,800 level. We did get the oversold, or the oversold, and we did get a transition here after clipping. It does look like money flow is coming up, and we're way buried deep. So I do think that a long on Ethereum is in play here, but I would advise that if we hit that 2812 and we start to get a rejection, that all we're doing is setting up for a lower high, and then potentially a lower low heading down to the platinum pocket between $1,800 and $2,000. That's what I'm seeing on Ethereum right now. Let's go take a look at Solana and see how that's looking. Man, that thing played out beautifully because that was for this level here off of the peak. All right, let's go take a look here at Solana. Right now, we are below our fixed range volume profile. You can see we do have some levels down here on the, let me isolate this chart off. 1 second. There we go. All right, we do have some levels here that are coming in off of this fixed range volume profile for volume, but I want to actually pull this back so we can get all of this previous data and take a look at what's happening here. We are coming in right there on these volume nodes. These are the volume nodes to watch right now. Very high volume spikes that we have in here that have pretty much contained price action here with a lot of wick and a lot of volatility. I would say that right now we need to be watching the bottom side here. 186.53 needs to hold for sure. If we bring this in and we look at the oscillators, we'll see again that we have the same 4-hour setup on a lot of altcoins right now where we're pegged really low. I mean, we went bright blue here on the RSI primed. This is RSI, this is relative strength index, turned into candlesticks on Heikinashi with color coating to them so that you get, when you get that blue, that means it's very, very, very oversold. So looking at the upside move on this, what I would like to see is that these candles do start to get more of a curvature, because right now they're just kind of grinding down, which means we could see a continuation of grind down on Solana right now. Money flow kind of flat, volumes in the red. We do have the histogram coming up, but this could just set up an entire new wave of downside movement while all we're doing is consolidating under our daily close at 203.45 yesterday, guys. So Solana not looking as strong to me right now as Ethereum is. Let's go and put on one more thing. I want to check out what the moving averages are. Yeah, we hit the 200-day moving average. We're just above the 300-day moving average, and that's going to be coming in right there at about 170. Again, that 170 level would be in line here with, yep, that's where we bounced last time, is in that pocket, and that would be past all of the volume areas. So 170 is going to be another key area for us to hold, but keep an eye on Solana. I think it does have some more downside sell-off coming. OC, let's kick it over to you, and let's see what you got going on. We got about 14 minutes left. Let's go, bro.
Absolutely. So DOGE, DOT, and Matic, let's start to knock them off really quick as we are here. So basically the same dumping here, the same bottoming also action here, the same wicking action here, the same double top taking profit. So basically it's looking like the same. I will say that most of the coins are looking very much like the same. Something different on DOGE, it is that we had the very first Wyckoff playing out before. Let me maybe clean this up so we can see it first. There we go. Coming down, little range, V-shaped recovery, high, not higher than the previous range. That gave us 70% chances of ranging, and we did, right? The next thing, it's coming down. We do not have that little range, but seems like we do have the little the V-shaped recovery. So as long as we can flip down below this area and then we flip back up, why? Since in this case we do have a reference point out of the range, well then we don't have a range here for a reference point. Well then we need to rely on the next confirmation here before having or calling for a 70% chances of ranging. But the important part in here, let me show you really quick with Bitcoin, because this is a great reference, and which it's telling me that we need to be careful, right? Let me show you really quick. This is a 4-hour, and let's go to previous highs of the previous markets. Let me see if I can just go back into something that is not as messy. Give you guys 1 second, and there we go, much better. And let's go back in time for a little bit. There we go. This is the area that I was looking for. So this was the previous low here, and look at as we went down. We went down big time here. We have a V-shaped recovery. The range, well, maybe a double range. We have first, second, third, right? And then we called for the bottom, and then we started going up, right? So that's what I'm a little bit worried right here, especially on Doge, on all the coins that we're having the same pattern, because the third one is the charm, right? So if we make Wyckoff and we're not able to break through and retest, and this goes for any other coin, right? If we fail to do so and we start breaking downwards, I think we're going to have another Wyckoff, which is going to be the last one. So just be careful there. I would advise to start using UVPVR oscillator on the daily to start timing that bottom. So far, it's looking good, but we need to start breaking to the upside. Let's take a look at Matic.
And it looks like OC has frozen up on me here. I'm not sure what's going on there, but hey, we're going to keep it rolling here until he jumps back in with us. Give me a 1 in the chat if you guys can, if we're still live right now. I think we are. I think we're good. But jumping over, guys, I just want to give you a quick snapshot here of what I'm seeing. It looks like Dow Jones, S&P, and NASDAQ is still dropping to the downside. Looking here at the charts, watching Bitcoin, it is starting to get its bounce off of that level. We did break past the OC retest on that wedge, so we're going to see if we're going to see. Cool, we're still live. We're still good. We're good. All right. Yeah, it's just OC. He'll be back in a second. So Mexican internet just got tariffed or something. That's what I'm watching here is going to be this level here. I want to show you guys real fast. That's going to be this dashed line right here across the top of this box. That is coming off of the fixed range volume profile, and that is the point of control. That level coming in right now at about 98,613. So if you guys, if we get a rejection there, that would just be hitting some key levels of previous support here that are key level with point of control for the volume. That would be the rejection point where I would see, okay, we made a lower high and now we're setting up for a lower low. If we get a break above this and we find support on it, guys, then we could be heading all the way back up into our points of our value area high, which is coming in at like 1046. So there you go. That's what we got there. I think did he look at PEPE yet? I'm not sure. I was trying to mess with some other stuff and get mine going. Let's go check out PEPE just in case. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. So that's Doge there. Bong. PEPE, where are you? Let's just go ahead and pull it up by, yeah, we'll just type it in. I'm not seeing it quickly on my list. PEPE, there we go. 1BitGet. It's right in here somewhere. Looking at, that's Pixel. Oh, it's right there. Got it. Cool. All right, taking a look at PEPE right now, guys. We are sitting below our daily close. I do have some fibs in here. These fibs have been running for a while. They're on trend-based fib extensions, and you can see we got rejected off of our phase 1.618 there. We do have a nice trend line coming in. Looking at the pivot tables, we're beneath the golden pocket right now. That is coming in on the 618 to this 0.66, and that is also going to be our weekly pivot. So we're at a key resistance level right now, but if we can get up here on this and bounce up, guys, we do have a trend line coming right across mother's milk on the pivot tables. So that would be the target for that. But if we don't get above this and we reject somewhere in this golden pocket or even up here on mother's milk, that would be these 3 gold bands on the pivot tables. That would be in line with this previous support level, and that would give us the downside move for a lower high there too. So that's what I'm seeing on PEPE right now. It does look like we have the uptrend going. Money flow is starting to come up, but volume is still in the red. So be very careful with what you're seeing on PEPE. Let's go ahead, jump back over. Muted. We're going to check, make sure you smash that like button and unmute your microphone. We're going to be back later on today with, yeah, we lost that. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry. Jesus, Lord Almighty. Tariffs on the audio text system today. We do have the Trade Intuition today with Trade Academy, and then also, guys, we're going to be having the nightcap tonight, I believe. There might be some changes coming to that. So, guys, I appreciate everyone that joined us here today. We will be back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, you guys, please trade safe. Volatility is crazy right now. And if you're going to trade, use some risk management. Let's go ahead and head out of here, guys, and hit Randy Hipper's house. We'll catch you guys tomorrow morning.
I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Alexandra.
Sound off.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean. awesome, dude.